In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make these fun, quirky little tiny paintings. You may be asking yourself, what do I do with the tiny paintings? I don't really know what to do with the tiny paintings. I thought they'd be cute as magnets or even just displayed on little mini easels. I even decided to hand paint a couple of them and they turned out super quirky because guess what? I'm super quirky. My name's BJ, my business is called Junked Up, and I'm so glad you're here today. Here are the things you're gonna need. You're gonna need some amazing casting resin, you're gonna need a paper cup, some gloves, you definitely want the gloves, something to stir your resin with, and some molds. I used the Cameos mold and the frames mold, both from Iron Orchid Designs. So this was my very first time working with resin. I had never used it before. And just a note on the resin, you wanna make sure you get the kind that says it cures in 10 minutes. And it's super easy. You just wanna pour part A in its little cup that it comes with, part B in the little measuring cup that it comes with, and then you're gonna take part A and part B and mix them together. After you have carefully measured and poured A and B together in the cup, you have to work kind of quickly. So you only need to stir for about 30 seconds. You're gonna feel the cup get a little bit warm and you're gonna see the mixture turn into this yellow translucent look. You really only have seconds to get this poured because this stuff sets up fast. The trick is to pour enough resin in there that it fills the entire mold to the top, but not too much that it overflows. The nice thing about the Iron Orchid Design molds is that they do have a little micro rim, which really helps contain the resin. So you'll notice on that last mold there in the back, I did some pour planning and I didn't have enough resin to fill that mold entirely. That's okay, we're gonna fix it and then I'm gonna show you what it looks like. You will notice that almost immediately the resin starts turning white, and that means it's doing its thing. There's a chemical reaction that occurs, and that's what makes it get nice and hard. So as soon as it's all completely white, like anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes, then it is ready to be taken out. I went ahead and mixed up a second batch of resin using a clean cup. And remember that mold that I didn't get quite filled the first time around? Well, here I am filling it now with the new batch of resin that I had, as well as filling a bunch of other little ones. After about 5–10 minutes of setting up, they pop right out of the mold. So they're a little bit pliable when you first take them out. So like right there, I have a little bit of an overfill, and so I just snapped that off using my fingernails. So I want to show you the one that I made that I partially filled and then had to refill it with a new batch of resin. I'm going to flip it over so you can see the back side. So from the front, it looks perfect. On the back, yeah, you can tell where I had like a little boo-boo. I'm just calling it like a little factory defect. So I have made these now with both the paper clay and with the resin, and I have to say that the resin gives an unbelievable detailed image. It really is great for capturing all of that amazing detail in these IOD molds. So the big question was, what do I put in the tiny frames? Well, I had a bunch of these little leftover pieces from the Iron Orchid Designs Entomology transfer, and I decided to use those. I also decided, I had my gesso out since I was gessoing some canvases I was about ready to paint, and I decided that I would gesso the inside of those frames where I'm going to paint because I really didn't know what kind of paint I was going to be using, whether I was going to be using acrylic or chalk paint or something else. I started by painting the frames in a red. In this case, I used Marquis by DIY Paint, and that's because I'm going to use gold on top of that, and I really love gold over a red paint. To paint the inside portion where the transfer is going to go, I used a variety of paints. I used some DIY paint, I used some I Love Hue paint, and I also used a little bit of acrylic paint. This is where you get to use your imagination and paint with whatever colors your heart desires. If you are curious to know the exact colors and paints that I used, I'll put everything in the description box below. And now to paint the frames gold. I used I Love Hue paint, Glitz and Glam, which is a really nice gold, and it took 2 coats for me to get the coverage that I wanted. And now it's time to apply the transfers. I had already kind of dry fitted these, so I knew which one went in which frame and where exactly they would be positioned. So you basically just, like we do with every other transfer, kind of hover over where you want it to go, put it down, press it down, and then use the stick to rub it on so that it adheres to your surface. Make sure you give the little transfer a burnishing. Just use that clear backing sheet that you've just pulled off to go over the transfer, and it gets rid of all of the little tiny halo that's there, so you really can't see it at all. For more craptastic crafting videos and other furniture painting videos, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications if you want to be notified every time I have a new video out. And finally, to seal up my work, I used 2 coats of DIY Paint Big Top, which is a brush-on liquid top coat. It has kind of a satin finish. I think for these, next time if I do them again, I might like to seal them up in a high gloss finish. I think that that would be super fun. That is it for today, my friends. I hope you enjoyed. I hope maybe you learned something new or got inspired, and I would love, love, love to see your tiny paintings if you decide to make some. Thank you, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.